Take a look at the sheer mass of a very large crude carrier, or VLCC. Next to an escort boat, it's a floating city block. These vessels are the heavy lifters of the global energy grid. This diagram shows exactly what that physical size translates to in cargo. A fully loaded VLCC holds about 2 million barrels of oil. That is 84 million gallons, a volume roughly 8 times larger than the entire Exxon Valdez spill, all contained in a single hull. If a targeted bombing blows that hull wide open, it results in the total loss of the ship and its cargo. Sinking a single supertanker creates a systemic fracture, simultaneously destabilizing environmental safety, global market pricing, and regional military posture. When the hull fails, it triggers a chain reaction that expands through the coastline, the trading floors, and the naval command centers, pulling separate global systems into a singular, escalating crisis. The severity of the fallout depends on the geography. An attack in the Strait of Hormuz traps the vessel in a highly confined, heavily trafficked maritime choke point. 84 million gallons of heavy crude expanding across the surface immediately suffocates the local fisheries, the mangroves, and the coral reefs. Because the strait is largely enclosed, the oil cannot naturally disperse into the open ocean currents. Instead, it forms a thick, stagnant slick that slowly sinks. That heavy toxicity settles into the coastal sediment, washing directly into the intake valves of massive industrial desalination plants lining the shore. In a region dependent on seawater, this ecological collapse creates a secondary humanitarian crisis, the immediate loss of drinking water for millions of people. While the oil is still spilling, the reaction hits the commodities markets. Traders factor in the sudden loss of supply and the extreme vulnerability of every other ship in the region. This chart tracks the immediate market reaction. Crude oil prices jump $20 to $50 per barrel overnight. As prices spike, shipping routes freeze. Cargo companies halt sending fleets into active strike zones until safety is guaranteed. This gridlock is driven by the insurance market. Maritime syndicates, like Lloyd's of London, withdraw coverage or raise these war risk premiums so high that operating a vessel in the channel becomes impossible without government-backed guarantees. The combination of astronomical insurance rates and the physical threat of another bombing severs 20% of the world's daily oil supply from the global market instantly. A deliberate strike on this volume of energy infrastructure carries the weight of an overt act of war. Diplomatic channels collapse immediately. Any delicate ceasefire negotiations or joint venture agreements, such as those discussed between the U.S. and Iran, are voided by the violence. Current U.S. military doctrine mandates a massive response to unprovoked attacks on commercial tankers. Naval commands identify and neutralize the attacker, often targeting the specific naval assets or coastal launch sites responsible for the strike. By targeting a single vessel, an aggressor forces allied navies into a kinetic shootout, guaranteeing widespread military escalation in a volatile region. Long after the retaliatory strikes end and the markets attack to stabilize, the physical remains of the ship rest on the seafloor. Recovering a 2 million barrel vessel from deep, contested water is beyond the limits of current salvage engineering. The ship cannot realistically be removed. The wreckage becomes a permanent fixture in the sediment, a decades-long source of slow-leaking pollution seeping into the local tides. The initial explosion takes seconds. The resulting toxic buildup, the market paralysis, and the multi-generational damage to regional infrastructure remain for years. The permanent presence of the wreck serves as a reminder of systemic fragility. A single strike on a single hull possesses the leverage to rewrite global trade routes and force the mobilization of entire navies.